Man, this is turning into kind of like a traveling vlog right now. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. Yeah, so because there's a lot going on, I decided to take this opportunity and we're doing a little camping tonight. Yeah, it's urban camping, which also is called sleeping in your car. It's not bad. We were gonna go up to, when I say we, I mean me. I was gonna go up to this rest area. If you take I-94 east, yeah, hold on, let's get some light going on here. Yeah, if you take I-94 east, you can, there's a rest area. And yeah, you're allowed to stay at rest areas for like 2 days. You can just camp there, rest there, or whatever you want to call it. I've never stayed at one for more than a night, but dude, I tell you, that one up there, in the early morning, man, it's so beautiful. You look out across the freeway, it's really nice. Yeah, but here we are at Planet Fitness because it's 24 hours. Yeah, and I've slept here a bunch of times. It's not bad, people don't. Except the 4th of July, I stayed here on the 4th of July, and there was a bunch of fucking kids that came up here at like 3 o'clock in the morning with like Roman candles and shit, and they started fucking around for like half hour. And it was just super funny because it was so hot that night, dude. It was so hot. And so I had like the windows open and shit, and I still couldn't sleep. It was miserable. But I just thought it was so funny they were playing, so I like sat up and started smoking a cigarette and just like listened to them, because it like, I don't know, it made it like less shitty because they were having so much fun. And I didn't see this kid. He fucking walked up next to my car, and he had the window down, and he was about to start taking a piss in the bush facing away from me. But he like looked back, and my window was open, and I'm like right there. And he just not, I could see him not realizing what he was looking at, And I'm just like, sup, bro? He scared the fuck out of me, fell into the bush. I just started laughing. Then I'm like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm just chilling. I was just chilling, about to go work out, which is a lie, but I'm at Planet Fitness, so it's a very nice excuse. It, palatable. But yeah, it was just so funny, man. It's nice. When I was younger. Well, preface this by saying I didn't get my first car till I was like 27. My own first car that I bought. It was like a little red Mazda. It was nice. Shit, I don't remember where I was going with that. That was a nice car. Yeah, it was like fun to drive. Yeah, I remember that shit. Oh yeah, but I took the bus before that. I took the bus and I walked everywhere. Because when I was in my teens, right after high school, and then it's about 21, I saw what it looked like when people had very, very like intense conditions on help, or like very a lot of expectations, and not a lot of understanding of, or even desire to understand who I am as a person, because I'm more complex than people, and it takes a lot more. I'm just a lot, you know what I mean? I'm a lot, I know that. So anyway, but yeah, so I did not ask anybody for like any help. I kind of just cruised and did my own thing. Still pissed off teen, but I walked everywhere, took the bus places, Well, I will say too, when I was in that era of being the victim of all these people, I also was a shithead I took a ride from this one dude. His name was Nick. He was a fucking good guy. Really good guy. Yeah, he gave me a ride like every day, and I never gave him gas money, and that, looking back on that, taught me a valuable lesson. That's why I always give gas money, and I never, ever try to take it unless I absolutely need it. I always give rides for free, always, because I was giving rides for free so much. Sad thing though, it was like 6 years later, he texted me out of the blue and asked me if I ever slept with his ex-girlfriend. It was the weirdest fucking thing. I didn't understand it at all. Her name was Becky. Listen, I'm not trying to talk bad about how anybody looks. I'm just saying Nick was a really nice looking dude. And Becky was like this. I think monster looking. Okay, she's nice, but my perspective is kind of skewed because it's like, where the fuck did he get that idea? Did she say something to him about me wanting, that's disgusting. We need to clear the record right now. You know, you are a fucking he-she, bitch. You are fucking absolutely not. You know, you are an inner reflection of how scared and afraid Nick was to be himself in this world. You know what I mean? At that point in time, I don't know. That was weird. And it's a shame too. He was like, Nick's the coolest. I always thought really nicely of. You know, I always thought he was really genuine. He didn't ever need anything. He just, you know, was there doing his thing. But I was very self-centered at the time. I didn't really think about what he was going through. But he might have been going through some other shit. I don't know. But who knows? We only have so many emotional resources. You know what I'm saying? You can only do so much. Yeah. But just chilling, man. Yeah, smokes a doobie. Nothing wrong with that. Feeling good, dude. Life's good. Yeah. You know, it turns out I'm a really good cook. I didn't ever really think in my head, I'm like a good line cook, but, you know, I guess I really am, you know, because the job is line cook right now, you know what I mean? Just simple line cook, you know, and I pulled up, I got a restaurant utilities resume, nobody even fucking knows what that is. It's funny. I watched them figure it out in real time and then tell me about it. It's like, oh yeah, the resume I gave you, dog. It took like about a month and a half, 2 months. It was pretty funny to watch. Yeah, but yeah, it turns out that's what's up. Chef John Miller, baby. You're the fucking man. I love you so much. It's a shame. It's a shame I bought into Jen. This other boss I had, her name is Jen. Man, what a manipulative bitch. What a terrible fucking woman. You know, I watched Chef John just get blasted with so much hate, so much persecution for like the last year I worked there. You know, I ended up relapsing on kratom because I had fucking really hurt my SI joint. I cracked my SI joint. It was really fucked up. I couldn't put my socks on for like 18 months. It was terrible. But yeah, I started using kratom like 4 months after I got the injury, and then got promoted a little bit later, and then yeah, the hell downhill from there, man. Don't ever take the Siegel Cafe manager job. Life lesson. Don't ever do it. Ross Business School. It's a tainted position. It was, at least when I was there. That was up until 2022. April 2022. Yeah, but it was all done. Dude, I watched that happen, dude. And Jen fucking, I don't know. Because I went from being Chef John's boss, to being Jen. I need to correct that. Chef John was my boss. Absolutely. He was my leader, you know, mentor. Showed me that I'm capable too of being a functional member of society. I did not think I was until I met him. Yeah, very influential character. But when Jen became my boss, oh my fucking God, because they hated each other. And they would fight with each other through me. It was terrible. But now Jen's my boss, and it's a fucking nightmare. And it's like, Jeff, why did you let this happen to me? I didn't know this, but I'm using a child. I don't know. My first time in a workplace politics situation. You know. Yeah, no. It wasn't good. I ended up just leaving because it was like I was working like 14-hour days at Starbucks 7 days a week. I just fucking couldn't do it, dude. I was getting sick. I ended up getting lush. I had a tooth infection, so I had to go to the dentist. And then I ended up getting lush, which is like your tongue gets all fucking huge. It was so weird, and I'm working like 14 hours a day. And then after I ended up getting lush, it was like I was on a bunch of like psych meds that they put me on at the psych hospital. Went to the Samaritan Center in downtown in like Detroit. It was awful. They tried to keep me for like a month, and I had to like plead with a social worker, and she was like, yeah, this is fucked up. And me and her had to like fight to get me out. And like 10 days, it was a nightmare. It was a fucking nightmare. And but anyway, I'm on all of that stuff, and then they put me in antibiotics to get the lush, and then afterwards I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I had this fucking dude, this kid living with me that I was like just paying for everything because I was lonely, you know. And it was just like, why do I allow the trash in? I don't know. It's ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, I ended up using kratom, because it's always kratom. It's always kratom. I mean, isn't it everybody these days? Fentanyl is the only thing that's out there anymore, dude. It's like you can't even get here. Like, you know, it's wild. You know, that anybody would even say, like, I don't know. Anyway, it's kratom. It's at the store. It's the same fucking, I don't know. But, yeah, man. Yeah, it's good stuff. I think, the fresh air is good for you, you know? I think it is. And definitely when it's like, no one knows where you are. That's the fucking shit. I love that. Just, you know what I mean? It's just you. Just you. Empty parking lot. I got a light on. It's 12:22. Yeah, man. You know, now that I've given my life to Jesus, which is interesting to say from the point of view that I have, in the way that I'm able to say. But just that name is difficult to say at first. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. It is. It's difficult to say for people, and it pisses people off, that name. That's why people say Christ. That they say the title of Jesus. They don't say Jesus' name. You know what I mean? You gotta say his name. Because the Christ was a concept that was around before Jesus came. Jesus didn't have a last name. Jesus was just Jesus, son of Mary. You know? That's important to remember. The Christ is the title of the Savior. It's not the name. It's not Jesus' name. He doesn't claim that. Christ is God. Christ is probably that bridge between the two. You know, the calling that, you know, the Savior is coming in the form of the Christ. And that Christ, or the Christ, just so happens to be Jesus, right? It's interesting to think about that. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. You know, no one ever watches these long videos. It's pretty interesting. You know, but I don't either. I mean, sometimes I do. Like, I watch Brittany the Intuitive. She's the shit. I'll watch her shit for like an hour and a half. She's fucking awesome. Yeah, she's great. She was just talking about how people hate on her because of the sound of her voice for so long. And then she was saying a lot of people complimented her about it. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it, dude. She sounds like my homegirl. You know, she sounds like the shit. You know, your bestie on the internet. That's exactly what she is. That shit's funny as hell. Dude, it should crack on. There is so much of that shit that is crack on in my fucking life right now. I can't really go into like details, but it's like, wow. You know, some of it is like, I'll hear it like 2 weeks in advance. And it's nothing that I'll do. It's only things that I observe. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird because, yeah, I don't know. You don't want to be doing all this weird shit because the devil can weasel its way into all that. You know, it's in the interpretation. You know what I mean? Into the physical, your brain interpreting it. You know? That's important. You know, the brain is part of the physical world. It's part of the devil's playground. You know, it's a physical thing. You know, it's the spirit that inhabits this body. That's not. I mean, if we're going to go down that rabbit hole of believing that Jesus is the way, which I do. You know, but it's a lot more complicated. But it doesn't need to be at all. And it shouldn't be at all. It wasn't designed to be at all. But it is. Because it has, I mean, it kind of has to be in order for it to hold itself together. You know. Anyway, they're doing construction in the back of fucking something. I don't know. Oh yeah, they clean this parking lot like all the fucking time. That's right. But you know, now they tell you though that I am on this side of the summer and I'm sleeping in my car. I mean, I'm just camping in it tonight. It's not like I'm sleeping in it like last time, but it's just, you know, it's just actually really fun. It's like pastime. It's like going mountain biking after the seasons, you know, come around again. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck yeah. Except I don't need as much lung capacity, so smoke it. Just kidding, don't smoke. It's a terrible habit. I wish I could quit. It makes me sick. Every day. Every day. It's terrible, but what are you gonna do? You know, I knew this kid named Kyle one time. He was in the Salvation Army. He was Kyle McCall. Fucking cool dude. Such a dick. But like, such a genuinely good dude. You could tell he was a dick because he was a good fucking guy. And he'd done some horrible fucking shit because he was hurt. You know what I mean? It's one of those fucking, I'm a crusader, man. I hope you found Jesus. You know, it's a hard ass motherfucker. I liked him. Yeah, but you say, do me a fucking favor, man. You know, him just have the bus run me over, man. Give me a fucking favor. I don't know. Yeah, we used to ride the bus together for like 3 hours every single day, or like 5 or 6 days a week, because it's like hour and a half bus ride in the morning, hour and a half bus ride at night. You know, on the way to work and on the way home for like 6 months every day. Yeah, room 569, baby. I'll never forget that shit. Oh my god. Daryl. He's the taller black guy across the way. He was from Atlanta. He looked out for me, bro. Those guys protected me. I don't know. You know, some fat little white boy from the suburbs. You know what I mean? Like, fucking banana. You know what I mean? I used to ride with people to go buy drugs. I never fucking bought them. I used them. That's funny. Like, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, what was this guy? It's the first time I met this guy. He, oh yeah, I remember this. Same guy. He slept next to me. I forgot his name. Maybe Earl? Maybe Earl. Yeah, he was an old black cat. And he used to grind his teeth so fucking bad. And I had never heard that before. And I thought he was scratching his head. I did, dude. Not for like a week. You know? He was like, what are you doing? I was like looking at his head. I'm like thinking, like, where is he doing this? What is he scratching? It sounds like he's scratching something. You know? And I asked him, he's like, oh, I grind my teeth. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking wild. Anyway, that guy, I ended up, and this is the first time of quite a few times this has happened, actually. I mean, my big ass mouth. It made me feel so bad, I apologized. So it's actually like, I try to apologize every time. It's, I don't know, as soon as it becomes a realistic thing, right? So I heard I thought somebody stole something out of my locker, and he was the new guy, and I was just talking some shit, probably way too caffeinated, smoking way too many cigarettes, and I was like, this motherfucker probably did. It's Pyro, you know, it had to been. Man, if these motherfuckers didn't just run to tell him, you know, ran their asses off to go tell him. And then, so it was awkward for like a day or two. But I'm like, I'm wrong here, dude. I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. Like, we're just a bunch of dudes who ruined our lives, and now we're in a fucking Salvation Army homeless shelter in downtown Detroit, you know, just trying to make it work. And yeah, he like wouldn't even look at me, man, and it hurt me so bad. And I just yelled out, Earl, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You know, I probably started crying. Yeah. And then he was like, man, yeah, that really hurt my feelings. And I was like, I didn't mean it, brother. And that really taught me a valuable lesson, because it's like, don't talk shit, bruh. If you got a question, just ask. That's it. You know, and that happened to me a few times. There was this other kid. His name was Cole. He lives out in Washington County. And he was good looking man. Real good looking man. And he always has been a good looking man. And he's always had boundaries. He's had boundaries, which is an interesting thing for somebody to come in with. And so it makes a person appear as if they're standoffish, because they are. But there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's just a person having boundaries. That shit's healthy. Real attractive younger kid, right? And then I liked this girl. Her name was Mara. She's younger too, but not anymore. Now we're all old, but yeah, but they're the same age. They're probably like 4 or 5 years younger than me. So yeah. And anyway, I knew she liked him, but she was my friend, like my close friend. I gave her rides to work all the time. You know, I really liked her. Of course, she knew. You know, I got a big ass mouth. People always know what the fuck I'm doing and what I'm thinking. People don't think, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Anyway, she liked him, and I knew she liked him, but it's like, whatever, you know. She was a good friend. And so it's like, why make it weird? And, you know, I don't really care about that shit. For me, it's, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird situation, but I do not chase women. And I've never chased women, and I will never fucking chase a woman. I'll tell you that right now. Well, okay, that's not true. But at this current point in my life, or at least over the last 10 fucking... Oh, God. All right, well, who I am today, I will never fucking chase a bitch. All right, I'll tell you that right now. Fuck them. They're not worth it. They're all retarded. Anyway, so, fuck, what was I talking about? So you get me on that tangent. I mean, if you just look, dude, you work in restaurants for a little bit, a while, and then watch waitresses, bro. You see how much money they make and how much money they spend and how awful they are. Like, if you're a cook, start paying attention to what their fucking tip outs are. Okay? You get to look at that as a front house manager, all right? And you're like, bitch, you are just trash. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? And then they all get together. It's terrible. So, terrible. And I know dudes have the same thing. That's just the dude version, of course. And then whatever, based on a person's level of, this or that, depends on the genders, which are going to be making up each of those groups. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, I forgot. Looking back to me. Talking shit. Yeah, don't talk shit, right? Oh yeah, Cole. So, one day, COVID comes around. And then a little bit into it when the Tiger King started coming on TV. I saw it a little bit late, but I went over and I hung out at Amar's new apartment. She got an apartment with this chick together. And Cole was over there. And I was like, cool, Because really there's nothing wrong with the dude. He's a good guy. Nothing wrong with him. He's great. He does a lot of service for the community. There's not a bad really, there's not a bad thing I could say about him. He's never done anything to me. So I was like, yeah, cool. And so we go in and we're hanging out, and this motherfucker, respect, just brings it up. And it was like, my man gave me the opportunity to either be a piece of shit or be a good man, right? And I chose, yeah, he was right. And I would look like a bitch probably, but he was right. You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, I never want to look like a bitch again like that, To have to be like such a fifth step, you know what I mean? Right then and just, ugh. Don't do that, Work my 10. Work that 10, every day. Yeah, don't do that. Other times I've talked shit and I just didn't want to fight anybody, so I'd just be like, yeah, whatever. But I meant every fucking word of it. Now, today I won't talk shit unless I'm ready to, yeah. But that's just the way it is. You in life, as we go, it's like you meet people and you see where they come from or whatever, and it's like the life that I've lived, politeness isn't a courtesy. Politeness is a required fucking part of communication, because men are dangerous and they will fuck you up if you don't talk to them the right. You know what I'm saying? You have to be polite. You have to show manners. You know what I mean? Because that's what a man does. That's what a gentleman does. You know what I mean? And in the game out here, whatever you call all of this bullshit, you have to act that way. You know what I mean? You can't just be popping off because you're going to get fucked up. But I guess that's not how it is. That's how I was always under the impression, that it was that way. But that's not how it is these days. This is fucking buck-ass wild. These people would just be popping off at the mouth, just doing whatever. You can see why the Wild West was the way it was, Everybody's drunk and everybody's just talking shit. You know what I mean? That's what's up. Anyway, 24 minutes and 33 seconds. It is now 12:36 a.m. Get some shut-eye. Yeah.